Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we got Ryobi's Tracksaw. This is tool only, 18 volt brushless. Ryobi is one of the leaders in budget tools, and tracksaws are trendy. Let's get in here and have a close look at this thing, and let's see how competitive it really is. Couple specs from the box: 6.5 inch blade, which is common to any tracksaw really. 5/8 arbor, so getting blades for this should not be too hard. Max depth with the track, almost 2 inches. I wouldn't use this without the track personally, but if you want to, 2 1/8. This has to win for the goofiest shaped box that I've had to open on this channel so far. There is tape lines everywhere, going in every direction. Look. Well, that was easy, but that accomplished nothing. No, no. All right, well, that would make sense. One track clamp. Looks like not a terrible design. Riving knife, very lightweight. I wonder what the hole in the end is for. Owner's manual. 40 tooth, 7,000 max RPM. That's a whole lot of RPM. 6.5 inch. All right. Zip tied in. Oh, jeez. Nice looking track. Got our tie bars already installed. Actually looks pretty nice. 2 of them because they're very short. Not quite sure what's going on with this. Oh yeah, barely installed. All right, well, let's stick that down a little better. Perfect. This one's same story. Well, whatever. We'll have a closer look at that. What do we have here? Cut rubber strip before first cut. Adjust your saw to your track. Set to scribe. Have the track all the way on a workpiece when you cut the edge off, it would appear. Not hanging off the table like I do on all my videos. So that message is for me for sure. So in the HP battery video for Ryobi tools, we had a whole bunch of folks that didn't think it was an HP tool in that video and commented about these extra leads that are on the HP tools and those contacts right there on the battery for this tool to take advantage of those leads there. HP, non-HP, no special leads on this one. So let's walk around this thing like we always do and have a good look at it, because this is the most unique tracksaw we've looked at so far, believe it or not. We've done both Wen, the corded and the cordless. We've done the Milwaukee. We've done the Festool. And this one is different from all of those, regardless of price point. And that is because the majority of this one is all plastic. Plastic. This had me fooled. This cover right here looks like metal. The other side's metal, but oh no. Just plastic. In fact, the only thing that's metal is this part in here and the inside of this cover. Everything else is plastic on this. And let's get a closer look here. So we have our safety button. Pushes in, even though it sticks out so far, it looks like a paddle, but it's not, it's a button. And that allows us to plunge our saw and press our trigger. Locks in the upright position, just like every track saw. It has very easy to read scales, 0 to 45, but 48 actually. And then it has our depth control here that adjusts this slider for depth. Tightens down. And that will only allow us to plunge our saw to that depth right there. Actually, it just hits this little block here. This actually has the exact same control setup as the Wen. So you have full plunge in the middle here, pushing this down, stops and locks halfway, so you can get your arbor bolt and change your blade. If you put it in the back here, it will only go that far, and that is for scribe. Just to make a line in the surface of material. There's this little pin right here. When I press the lock, it's hard to see because it's, I mean, it works, but it doesn't move much. That little pin there gets stuck in a hole here. That's what locks it. And adjusting this lever, adjust the position of that pin in 3 different spots. If you put this forward, it'll get stuck there. If you go middle, it'll run right through the center of this all the way to the bottom. And if you put it in the back there, that one's a little hard to show you, but there's a little ledge right there. You can kind of see it, and it just gets stuck on that little ledge right there. Let's have a look at our beveling mechanisms, and then we will throw a blade in this thing. You got the lock in the front here, and the same always corresponding one in the back there. Bevel our saw, and we stop at 45. If we want to go to 48, there's a little, geez, that focus, there's a little sticker here. That little lever gets flipped up, and now we're good to 48 degrees. That's very nice and simple. It works well. If you flip it down, back to 45. However, you can actually go -1, which makes sense. Most track saws give you that ability. To do -1, you have these 2 levers. So your adjustable stop is here. So if you need to adjust your 0, here is your jam nut and bolt to do that. To go below 0 to -1, you have to pull this lever here on this little metal tab, which is spring loaded. You can see the bolt's been sitting on it there, and the thickness of this metal piece is worth 1 degree more, and you'll get to -1. However, you have to do it to both of these. There's your adjusting bolt. There it is. How do you do both of these? I'll try and cross. Yeah, if you cross, you can get it. We're at -1. If I lift this up, you'll see this little tab here will snap back. And now we're back at 0. But you have to cross your hands to do it. It is not easy to do. These little levers are kind of hard to pull. Oh, yeah. There we go. -1 and 0. On the top of the shoe here, you have your track adjustment, which is this little lever right here, which can be unlocked with this wing bolt. I'm going to show you this now because everything's in black and it's kind of hard to see. Here is your anti-tip mechanism. This fits in the channel in the track, so when you bevel your saw, it does not fall out. The only way to get this tiny little tab to come out is to loosen this and slide it, and then keep it slid and tighten it. It works. Is it great? Not really, but you loosen this up, and there it snaps itself back in just by chance. Oh. Yeah, this is kind of fiddly. I'm not a big fan of this. I don't really bevel these things, so I'm not really that concerned about it, honestly. So the pivot point for the plunge is back here. You can see this arm. There's the pivot point right there. It is very hard for me to get in there to show it to you because of the light. And I'm hitting the camera. What it is a pin with a C-clip. There, you can kind of see it there. There's a pin with the C-clip. And now why am I showing you that? Because on mine, it's loose. I know we talked about the when and its flexibility when you bevel the saw. Well, there's a degree or so, maybe 2 degrees of wiggle, and it's still locked, and she's a wiggling. So not very tight on this. Plus, let's bevel it and lock it down. You have to pull out on these knobs when you lock them down because the carriage bolt on the inside pops out. I find myself twisting these things and nothing's happening, and it's because the carriage bolt's just spinning in there. So if I hold the shoe to the table, how much flex is in this thing? An insane amount of flex. I mean, the whole thing's just plastic and flexing. The shoe actually lifts off. The shoe will bend and lift off. I mean, this doesn't even lock down tight. Tighten it to the point where it feels like it's gonna break. Yeah, it's a little better. I hate to really wrench these plastic wing nuts down. All right, so let's pull the screws out of this, and we don't have to take this cover off to put the blade on. You can just slide it up from the bottom. But I want to install this thing because this is one of this saw's advantages. There aren't too many budget-priced track saws that come with a riving knife. At least there isn't one that we've done so far, so... Oh, airplanes, I hate you. So many airplanes. You have to be careful because one of these screws is coarse thread, and it's this one. And I'm gonna show you why in a second here. The rest of them, machine screws. All right, there's all of them. You would think, but nope. There's one right there too, on the other side. That comes off. There's your dust port. And there's our cover. Our cover is cheap plastic. This one was made in 11 of 22. Some industrial looking plastic there. They did a nice job making the plastic look like metal. It had me fooled when I took this out. And here's what we got. Not a lot going on here. There's our arbor. Here's our riving knife plate. Let's do our riving knife first. I almost forgot. Onboard tool storage. It's actually pretty nice. It's a good spot. You got 2 Allen keys. It's the one for our riving knife and arbor lock. So we got this little plate. It's got the pins to locate it and our riving knife. Riving knife slides in. It's all the way in there and tightens down. No cool spring-loaded mechanism on this. I was expecting this to have like a Festool style spring-loaded mechanism, and no such luck. It is fixed. You can have it on, you can have it off. Let's get that. Why aren't you? Oh, that's why. Let's put that thing down. So that's what you get there. Rigid riving knife. Arbor bolt is lefty-loosey. Arbor bolt. Washer. The inner comes out too if you want it to. We got our blade. There we go. There's your arbor lock button right there. Put our plastic fantastic cover back on. So there's our blade and riving knife that sticks out below the blade. Not quite sure how this is going to play out, but looks like it's going to be awkward. Let's find out. Battery goes in the side. I haven't heard this thing run yet. That is quite a noise coming from this thing. Sounds like it's got a lot of power. I'm just gonna say, let's hope so. All right, let's do the track and then we'll start cutting some stuff. As best I can tell, this is proprietary to Ryobi. If you know of other saws that use this style track, you let me know, but I haven't seen one in person. This is aesthetically pleasing in my opinion because the channels, both of them, to lock the tracks together are on the bottom. The whole thing is nice and smooth. The plastic they use for the top is smooth and nice and thick and seems to be glued down all right. This is looser than any other track that I've handled. You can just pull it right off there. It's very loose. Hopefully it lasts. We'll find out. We'll stick that as straight as we can there. There is an advantage to plastic and plastic because even when it's adjusted real tight with no play, it slides very smooth. It's got the typical double foam on the bottom. These are brand new. This table is clean. They stick, but not awesome. we'll see how it does cutting without a clamp. By contrast, here is the PowerTech. The PowerTech is used, it's full of sawdust, it sticks better. It is clearly a different style with the channel on the top here. The Ryobi will not work with this typical style Milwaukee Festool Wen style track. I'm sure there's more that use the same one, but obviously not going to happen. Here's something I failed to mention when we were looking at this before. There is 2 Allen keys in this. One, the little one here, fits your track. This is the only Tracksaw I've seen that has onboard storage for the Allen key for the arbor and the Allen key for the track. That is a nice touch. All Tracksaws should have this because this one you always have with you. This one, who knows where that thing is. All right, eyeballed as best I can, nice and tight. I do like having both bars on one side rather than installing one and flipping it over. That thing was coming off again. I don't know, maybe when we cut it shorter. Seamless transition, beautiful. Here on the bottom of the saw, moving this little lever here, adjust that cam, and that's how you make your saw tighter on your track. Pull that lever tight, and then we'll just tighten this down. Make sure that lever doesn't move, which it's gonna wanna do. You can kind of hold it with one finger. There we go. If you loosen this too much, this cam will raise up over the lip of this and you'll get no adjustment, and it's easier to screw up in the back here because the back has the exact same design. There we go. I'll tighten that down. And it still slides nice. I'm perplexed by Ryobi's decision to include only one clamp with this. I mean, the track has this end, and I'm pretty sure I see another end over there. So you should have 2 clamps for this. To do it right, it fits in the track, tightens down, works good. It's not like it's a high-end device here that, you know, we can't afford 2 of them. I will tell you that this track sticks really nice on this OSB. Better than the slippery table surface. This, it does not want to slide around on its own. So the riving knife is not spring-loaded. We've already determined that. And the riving knife will completely prevent you from plunging your saw into material. There is no plunging with the riving knife. You have to start at the end, and you have to be halfway off the track to do it. So you're gonna be this much play when you start. Not a big fan of that, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would much rather plunge here. I mean, I'm still off. If both cams aren't touching that track, that's full on right there. Let's throw a battery in this thing and let's cut that strip off. So yes, the instructions said to put it on scribe, so you only go, you know, I don't know, what is that, maybe a 1/4 inch or so into the material, maybe even less. You're just gonna make a little trench. And no, I didn't have it on scribe. I had it on full plunge. Well, obviously with scribe, you're not gonna be able to use your riving knife, so that's a problem there. Well, first impression, how did it do? Honestly, it did excellent. It has a lot of power. It cuts nice. Let's get something a little more challenging. Just a hair over 1.5 inches on our dust port, or about 40 millimeters or so. Fits my old rigid dust hose. Nice and snug, actually. Perfect. 1x11 stair tread. Let's try that. And I forgot to turn on the vacuum. Ay, ay, ay. Even with that Ryobi blade, that is a clean cut, man. Very nice. I would not feel bad installing this in someone's house. 3/4 inch plywood is probably the most common thing all of us would be cutting with this. We'll actually turn the vacuum on this time. Another beautiful cut. Lots and lots of power on this one. I'm real impressed. If I put a shadow, you can see how clean that cut is. Let's see if it's powerful enough to cut this 2x12. That's almost full depth. Some kickback trying to plunge this thing, and it actually stopped on its own halfway through. Very strange. I've never had a Tracksaw kickback or stop mid-cut. Let's do it one more time. Round 2. Let's see if it kicks back. So there's how we did. And the board looks just the same as this cutoff piece. Not bad. It did well. This was either where it stopped or me resetting the camera for a different shot. But not bad. It's powerful enough to make it through a 2x12. I mean, it's pine, but still. We've got about 25 to 30 board feet on this thing, but almost full depth in about half of it, and we're down a bar on the 6. Let's start this off by saying that I've been a fan of Ryobi tools, at least a fan, sort of, for way over 10 years, 15 years, because you can always get a functional, decent tool for a fair price. That's what made Ryobi famous and popular and sold them a bazillion batteries, because a lot of us have at least one Ryobi battery sitting around. This is a mixed bag of good and bad. And it is not, even to Ryobi standards, up to the quality I expect from Ryobi, in my opinion. It feels very cheaply made. It has enough power. It went through the 2x12. It stopped once. I don't know what that was about. I wasn't pushing it too hard, I felt, but it's okay. As a Tracksaw, it's not bad. It does what it's supposed to do. The track I like. The track's not bad. It's proprietary. If you want to make 8 feet, you get 4 sections. That's 2 seams more than I feel you should have on a Tracksaw, but I guess if you want to use a track this small, one track, at least you can do that. You can put the clamp in either slot, which I think is cool. I've never seen a track you can do that. However, the clamp is proprietary. So they don't sell these freaking clamps. You can't get another one, even if you wanted to pay for it. And you can't use the more popular style PowerTech or Wen, Festool, Milwaukee, because it won't work. So you get one clamp with this, even though it has 2 ends, and you are stuck with that. I paid $200 for this. For 200 bucks, not a bad deal. I like it. It's good for $200. Tool only, half a track, 1 clamp. That's fine. 200 bucks, I'm cutting. I already have the batteries. Good to go. If you can find it on sale for that price, or close to it, I say go for it. It's not that bad. However, for 330 bucks, which is the regular price and the price that is on Home Depot's website right now, No freaking way. Half a track, one clamp, you can't get a second. And this thing is mostly plastic for 330 bucks. I do not find that to be a fair deal, personally. You can get the corded Wen with 8 feet of track and 2 clamps for 200 bucks. You can also get the corded Grizzly for 200 bucks. It's on sale right now. 9 feet of track, 2 clamps, shipped for free. That is such a good deal on paper. I ordered one, so we're gonna review that probably in a month or so. We'll do the Grizzly Tracksaw. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I did a little research this morning because the price of this thing really bugs me. It's, in my opinion, it's way overpriced. So you can get this with 1 battery for $400, and you still have to buy 2 more sections of track for 80 bucks, and you still only have 1 clamp. So now you're $480 into this. You got 1 battery and a charger. If you do 2 batteries and a charger, it's $500. If you do the 3 battery deal for Ryobi days and the tool only, you're 530 bucks. You get 3, a 6, a 4, and a 2. 530 bucks. Online right now, you can get a DeWalt, professional DeWalt, with half a track in a T-Stack box for 530 bucks. Comes with a 60 volt battery and charger, 530 bucks. You buy another half a track and now you're 610. It's not that much more. And now you have a DeWalt Flex Volt battery for any other decent tools you want to buy. It's not that much more really in reality, because you're 500 bucks into this thing. For about $365, you can get the 40 volt 2 battery Wen with 8 feet of track. 365 bucks. They don't have the kit anymore. I bought the kit. It's on there. I did it a la carte. $365 for a very nice, very powerful track saw. I'll put links for all this stuff, and you go look on my channel. There's videos for both Wens on there already. We'll have the Grizzly video pretty soon. For 200 bucks, recommended. For 330 bucks or 400 with the battery or 500 with 2 batteries, 8 feet of track, 2 batteries, and a charger, 580 bucks. No way. I hate when the tools are not that good. It drives me nuts. I like doing reviews for stuff I like, and I'm actually shocked, man. Here, I paid 45 bucks for this router. This is what made Ryobi awesome. I looked, when they discontinued this, it was $69. It's still on Home Depot's website. You can get the new version for $79 tool only, which to me is still a fair price for a decent little router. Not bad. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? If you found some value in this video, consider hitting subscribe, consider hitting like on this video. It supports the channel, and I thank you. I'll see you in the next one.